Bitte begrüßt ganz herzlich. Diese junge Dame kommt aus Dresden in Deutschland. Und sie ist die ostdeutsche Abrissbirne.
Nero, the East German wrecking ball, making her Pro Wrestling Austria debut. And to be honest, Nero has been a bit of a verbal wrecking ball in the build-up to this match. Heard her comments insulting not just her opponent, but the entire nation of Austria. I don't know if she was expecting a warm reception here after all of that, but she clearly hasn't got one. You've got to say, I think she deserves the reception she's received.
Und hier kommt ihre Gegnerin.
Jessy.
Auf den Weg zum Ring. Sie kommt aus Frankfurt. Sie ist der Kennungssymbol.
Nero leaves the house without her trusty kendo stick, doesn't Jessy J. And of late, she hasn't left the house without a championship belt or two. She's the current GQP Women's Champion, as well as the Independent Women's Champion. That's the belt she's brought with her. Oh, what does Nero want? Hang on. Just to explain here, Jane Nero is the former Independent Women's Champion. She's demanding a rematch.
Jane Nero hat Jessy J herausgefordert und damit ist es offiziell, dieses Match steht um den Independent Women's Championship.
Virgile, our ring announcer, is the promoter of Project Nova. One of the main places where that title is defended. I think Virgile has agreed that the title can be put on the line here. So this is going to be an impromptu title match. Jessy J doesn't mind at all. She's a fighting champion. Nero is a former two-time holder of that independent women's title. God, what a slap from Nero. Nero's such a nasty piece of work. Jessy J going to try and teach her a lesson. Leapfrog from J. Young woman from Salzburg. Background in judo. There's Jessy J, and you can see very adept at throwing opponents around the ring. J sent to the ropes. Moxie followed her there. J, I think, was looking for another leapfrog, but Nero just shoved her down. Jessy J to quickly back up. Nero once more taking her down. Nero with a almost psychotic look in her eyes as she pursues that third title reign with his independent women's title. Once more, Jay was quickly up to her feet and a clothesline taking Nero off of hers. Snap suplex from the kendo stick pitbull. Jessy Jay will run in. Jay now with Nero on the shoulders. Nero's fingers just raking at the eyes there. Nero rolling to the outside, buying herself a bit of time. Taking a seat in the front row. Some of these fans mocking her. There's no timeouts in a pro wrestling match. Jessy Jay deciding unilaterally that timeout was going to come to an end, but Nero able to see her coming, cut her off. Chop across the chest from Nero. Nero gonna pick up Jay, send her face first onto the ring apron, onto the edge of the ring there. Jessy Jay has spent most of the past couple of years really in what was a bitter rivalry with Moxie that began all the way back at Chapter 2 of Pro Wrestling Austria back in April of 2022. That rivalry lasted all the way through to Chapter 7 last year when it was a last woman standing match that Jay lost to Moxie. Only lost it though to Jay because in second here she's going to charge in. She can be a little bit reckless, can Jessy Jay, and it cost her there, just like it did cost her in that last woman standing match. Jay charged at Moxie in that match at a table, and Moxie sidestepped it. Jay went through the table, and that was the end of that. She was similarly rash there, and going for the boot, ended up getting her leg wrapped around that steel ring post as a kick out, though. As this time, Jay Nero, attacker, going for the cover. After all of that bad blood between Moxie and Jay, it was good to see that Jay showed Moxie respect, offering her the kendo stick. No such respect on display here from Jay Nero. These two women, really, you can tell, just from the body language here, thoroughly dislike each other. Nero really going to town on that leg now and just seeing if she's caused enough pain for Jay to give up, but that was a forlorn hope. Jessy Jay is a fighter. Jay getting dropped on her front though by an increasingly confident Jay Nero. Nero with a shrug of the shoulders, exuding an air of inevitability here for victory. Clearly believes that independent women's title should have been hers all along. Those strikes from Jay though, trying to get herself back into it. Swing and a miss from Nero. Cost her as she got hit with a back suplex. Jay just trying to get some feeling back in those limbs. Nero going to the bottom rope, into that corner. Might not be the best place to be because Jay trying to run in. That knee giving out. Nero can't believe her luck. The strategy here of Jay Nero to focus on that right leg certainly working out. Drop Jay with real ferocity down on her front there. It seems like it's a matter of time right now for Nero. Living up to her nickname as a East German wrecking ball. She's another one from Dresden, from that pro wrestling school in Dresden that's run by Axel Tischer. Jay, though, just saw an opening there, got the inside cradle for a 2 count. Nero going to lift up Jay onto her shoulders, fireman's carry. Couldn't quite get her up there. Jay shoves her to the ropes. Clothesline takes Nero down. The elbow from Jay. And another clothesline. Then the elbow once more. Now Jay with a Samoan drop. Canvas rattled with the impact of that one. Jay gets herself on top of Nero for a 2 count. And the Independent Women's Championship continues to be on the line. A title match we weren't expecting here. Remember, once more, we'd love to know what you think of all the action tonight. We're at Pro Wrestling AT on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, and on YouTube. Nero able to cut off Jessy J as she was climbing up top, and once more sent front first down onto the floor. Here's a pin here and a kick out from Jay. Referee insisting that was a counter 2, much to the annoyance of Nero. Nero getting in the face of a young fan. What's she doing here? Well, she's grabbed the title belt. That's not hers, that's Jessy J's. And even if it was hers, you can't bring it in the ring in the middle of a match. What is Nero thinking? If she uses that as a weapon, she's going to be disqualified. She'll lose her shot at regaining the title. Jay Nero's lost her cool here. Referee's doing her a favor, snatching that title belt out of her hands. Nero with the kendo stick. It was all a ploy. Referee got his back turned. The kendo stick to the skull, and Jessy J gets the left shoulder up. What a hideous miscarriage of justice that would have been. Jessy J didn't let it happen. Nero, though, seemingly thinking that she's just a move or 2 away here from getting it done. Discus elbow buying Jessy J a moment or 2, but only briefly. She gets spun around. Turning into a real fight between these two. Jay able to get Nero up, sit out powerbomb. Jay with the pin and a kick out from Nero. Now these two women, so well matched. It's been at least 1 or 2 occasions each here where I think the smart money would have been that both Jay or Nero in different moments could have won this, but we're still here. We're still going. Jay has a victory roll from Nero, hooking those arms, got the shoulders down. It's a 2 count. Boot to the midsection. Jay's, the knee went again. The knee went again for Jessy J. Nero with a real smile on her face, thinks that she's outsmarted Jay here. It's a sunset flip into the corner, the back of the head of Jay, just colliding with that turnbuckle. That thin padding not offering much protection to the back of the skull of Jessy J, who's now getting hoisted up onto that top turnbuckle. Nero maybe looking for a superplex. A superplex that could earn her a 3rd run as the Independent Women's Champion. No, Jay fights her off, kicks her in the face. 2nd turnbuckle, missile drop kick. Nero taken down. The German suplex from Jay. Nero up to her knees. Nero is trying to come in there, maybe with a clothesline, another sit-out powerbomb, a 2nd one from Jay, and Jessy J will retain the Independent Women's Championship. Pitbull by name and by nature, Jessy J tenaciously refusing to relinquish the Independent Women's title even after she was hit firmly in the top of the skull with that kendo stick. coming back into it. Oh, God. Nero isn't finished. Talk about a sore loser. This double under DDT onto the title belt. Screaming it's her championship, but she is not right. It's not her title, and it's certainly not her kendo stick. Nero seems to be at risk of snapping in the middle of the match, and snapping again here, going after that right knee, the one she weakened so much. Someone get in there and stop this. Nero's removing the knee pad. What little protection there is on that knee of Jessy J. She's looking to hurt her here. Nero's looking to seriously hurt Jessy J. That knee now totally exposed. The kendo. Oh wait, look who's here. Moxie's here. Moxie, the longtime rival of Jessy J, arriving just in the nick of time and bringing with her that kendo stick that Jay presented to her. Oh, there's a sight we never thought we would have seen a year ago. Nero still making a lot of noise, but she has retreated from the ring. Jessy J has Moxie to thank for the fact that there wasn't some serious damage post-match done to that leg. It seems that bitter enemies have become better friends. Jessy J being helped out by Moxie. Jay successfully retaining the independent women's title and successfully holding on to feeling in her right knee, thanks mostly to her former arch nemesis.